People have any questions they'd like to ask of Ian or Alistair? So now would be a chance to do so.
Yeah, so I'm interested in two things. One is the way we sort of reference ourselves and our own knowledge as a place. And I experienced this, I went here, I did these things, and that locates me in some place other than where you are. And so I'm interested in how you might approach a character that, or a visual space that references places that you never expected you should have had access to. So if your person in Cape Breton never expected to find themselves at the Louvre and never recognized themselves in a place or a space and had no reference to it or no memory, how do you treat those emotions? How do you treat what it means? How do you understand it?
Me?
Sure. Why not?
Well, that's an interesting question. I write very often in the first person, because I think it's intense and because everybody is interested in himself or herself. So, those stories Snoopy is writing on top of the doghouse. It was dark and stormy when he set out. But I very often say to myself, it was dark and stormy when I set out. And I'm going to tell you what happened to me because I like that intensity. But the question you're raising is sometimes you get this person and you'd like them to go to the Louvre, but they never would. So either you would have to use the third person or you can't send the person there. Because that's not where the person is going. And I'm interested in that when you read the history of the Hudson Bay Company and so on, like some of these white men who fathered children with native women, sometimes they sent their sons to Edinburgh or to London to become educated in that, let's say, white man's way. So these young men from the trap line in Saskatchewan would go to the Louvre. And when you read the records, they're very mixed about it, because it wasn't their history, it was there. And they weren't particularly stupid. They could read the books, but they would say, some of them, but it says they want to go back to Tosh, because that's where my place is. And I know my father is Scottish or English, and I know he's given me this good education. And I'm here looking at this art. Now, his father, who probably came from Scotland or from France, would appreciate the Louvre because it would be part of his education. So that's what you've got to, like sometimes I think of great lines, and I say, oh, wouldn't it be nice if somebody said this, then it was the character. Nobody in this story would ever say this. Maybe someone would run through the room shouting, the heart is a lonely hunter. The one on the other side, they would say, who was that? That was the person carrying the good line. but I think that's a good.
I think I was actually that person who went to the Louvre. When I was 18 years old, and I find it interesting in stories. I mean, in some ways, it's a story of any kind of immigration, really.
Sure.
You arrive in this world that is so different than anything you can imagine. I mean, the people in my first novel, when they thought of the New World, they thought it was this town. They couldn't picture a continent. Everything was there, and people in Chicago could cross the street and see people in New York, or people in Toronto.
Sure.
And of course, then you arrive and this completely foreign reality hits you. And for me, that's always an interesting sort of intersection point for me. And my novel Testament, where the mother figure leaves Jerusalem and sees the sea for the first time, having never studied geography, having not known what a sea is, that you could actually, see this expanse of water that just stretches on for, what could that possibly mean? How could something stretch on like that forever? I think for me, it's an interesting place to enter as a writer and think about before that moment where it becomes familiar. A lot of writing for me is defamiliarizing the world and seeing it through that, as if it were something completely strange and new.
But just to bring everything right down to this moment, right now, we are all here sitting in a place, which is this room. It's called a sense of place. So I'm wondering, will we all remember that we were in this place? Become part of that memory. But it's interesting to realize that for me to just think what we all take away from being at this place and thinking about the place. Will that do anything, or will you think about it, or will you remember it? So that's curious that we're actually fixated here and talking about this idea of place. So,
Some people will remember this forever, some will not. Because I think, maybe because of the interest or lack of interest there is in us, but because of the kind of people that you are, there's been records of soldiers in I think World War II, people going into battle, and some soldiers just remember every single thing. They remember, they remember the weather, and they remember the leaves and the trees. And the man beside him would say, well, it was just like every other day, we just got up and walked. And these are two men that experienced the same thing. So people in this room, some of you will remember because of whatever, because of the way you are, I suppose, or because of your interests. And others will say, it's like asking people to remember the first day of school. Everybody remembers it, or 98% of the people remember it. Then you say, how about the 365th day of school? Nobody remembers that. But because it's the way you are, I think you will remember certain things.
but we all want you to spread goodness.
Yes. Change your life. Change your life, make you better.
Rick, I just want to thank our guests for